I thought I'd talk a little bit about Doc Savage again. I came across some of these comics in my collection. This was a DC version called The River of Fire, number 8. And shows the people involved in it. Second feature, Justice Incorporated. Anyway, this is I was going to show 3 comic books that I found in my collection, and this is the least favorite of ones I have. This is The Village Without a Sun. So that one's all right, but there's so much darkness. It's too dark. Hard to even see what the illustration is depicting. You can see how it's pretty dark, and it's not a very well read story. Here's the second book I was going to talk about, but before I get to that one, I just wanted to mention this. This is the second story in that book, because Lester Dent did another hero not a superhero, but a hero, anti-crime. It was called the Avenger, and this is his thing right here. It was called Justice Incorporated, Murder and Vengeance, Part 3. So it's just a short story of the Avenger, and it wasn't long as a series as Doc Savage is, but pretty good cover art, just like Doc Savage is. And this one, I don't know if it's the same artist, but it's a little bit more. You could visually see it a little bit better, more realism. But it's just a short little story that there's a thing on Batman Detective Comics. Anyway, this one, the second story, is a lot better than the Doc Savage one. I enjoyed it better. Anyway, here's the Avenger right here. But it's a pretty short story, and of course it's to be continued. So anyway, I just want to give you a little short discussion about this. This first one, like I mentioned, was from DC. The second book is from Millennium, but I enjoyed the artwork a little bit better on this one. So here's the artist that was associated with it, but it reads a lot better. There's a pose with Doc Savage right there. Chapter 1, Doom Dynasty. Anyway, the third one is of the comic books the one that I enjoyed the best of all these 3 is a combination of Doc Savage and the Shadow. I really enjoyed the Shadow. The Shadow came up with some paperbacks too. It's the same thing as Doc Savage. The Shadow came out first, and then Doc Savage followed in the 30s. But it's a combination, the Shadow and Doc Savage. But the Shadow is, and they did a movie on that also. The movie was better than the movie they did for Doc Savage, but still they could have done better. But I liked his. He always had a pair of 45s that he fought. There's always an endless supply of bad guys with him. But they had a radio show and they had the works. But the art on this thing is a lot better. It shows cover artist Dave Stevens and Dan Monakian, Vince Raucher, illustrators. I don't know when this was published. Let's see the date. Anyway, the art, like I mentioned, the artwork is a lot better. So this is my favorite. Which brings me to the topic I wanted to talk about. How cool would it be? Because I was thinking about that. I made a comment on my last Doc Savage. I says, what, that would be, it'd be nice to do a cartoon, like a TV cartoon, like they did on Superman, like they did on Batman. A cartoon that's very well illustrated, is put on TV, and then we get a whole new generation of kids interested in this character. He's got tons of stories to feed off of, and they're not there's always a bad guy, but it's not like the Shadow where he's blowing people away. He just tries more of today's standards where they try to save people. But how cool would that be to get a whole other generation of fans that would enjoy the stories. Another series that they did good job on too, on TV series, that one that they did on Fantastic Four. That I think the key is, some good illustration or some good artists involved with it. Like this one right here, they did a good job. I know that TV would be totally different than comic books. I get that, but and I'm not any illustrator, so I have no room to talk. I just know what I like. But anyway, I thought I'd throw that idea out. There's the Shadow. He's always wearing a dark cape and with a red scarf. All right, bye. I wanted to mention this this YouTube channel. I just recently found it. It goes through all the paperback covers that James Bama did, and the guy that did this is his name is Arlen Schumer. That's the channel's name. If you get a chance and you want to see a good little history of James Bama and how he did all the cover work, it's very good. That was the figure right here. That guy right here, Steve Holland.
James Bama. If you go to my website, folks, arlenschumer.com, you can see the various pages of my special interests like comic book history, where you can see how to get a copy of my hardcover book, The Silver Age of Comic Book Art, about comic book art in the 1960s. It's really the only book of its kind in which I show the art and how it reflected what was happening in the decade, and I take out the original word balloons and put the artist talking about the art. I run 3 different Facebook groups on comic history, The Silver Age of Comic Book Art, one on Jack Kirby, and one on the artists that influenced me and really a whole generation the most, Neil Adams, who influenced my illustration style the most, doing comic book style illustration for advertising and editorial usage. One of my specialties is turning real people into superheroes and maintaining the photographic likeness. I'm also linked from my website to the commercial site TeePublic, where you can get over 125 of my illustrations in every kind of knick-knack, gewgaw, and application you could think of, so support your local artists. And then if you go to my visual lectures and webinars page, it's linked to my YouTube channel and Vimeo channel, where you can see all previous webinars that I've been doing since the pandemic shutdown, and the older live lectures that I did that I called visual lectures, because as you can see, I'm very visual. My Vimeo channel has all the lectures and webinars that YouTube flagged for copyright infringement of using copyrighted material like the music. So Vimeo's lawyers are obviously more lax, so you can see the branded entertainment, Bruce Springsteen, Twilight Zone, Connery, Bond. So all those webinars are on my Vimeo channel. Coming up, folks, I'll be editing this recording and posting this to one or both of those channels as well very soon. Coming up, folks, next week in the month of May, on a Wednesday, just like tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, in honor of the fact that May was the month of Batman's first publication date, 1939, how about a webinar on Bill Finger, the man who made Batman, and then Batman's biggest pulp influence in the same way
You
Superman's
said Bill
was
Singer.
Doc Savage.
It says Bill Finger. I don't know what that deal
Batman's
is.
was the Shadow. So a week
Oh, there you
later,
go.
I believe that's going to be, let me get my calendar in front of me. So let's see, Bill Finger is May 4th, a Wednesday. May 11th, the following week, I'll have the greatest comic book version of The Shadow by Michael Kaluta in a webinar. And then sometime later in May, to be announced, yes, a webinar in the Green Hornet TV series, co-starring, that's Bruce Lee in the background as Kato. So folks, if you go to the events blog page on my website, I always post all of my comings and goings with all the links you'll need to see each event. So again, folks, thanks for attending. Doc Savage by James Bama, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
This is just published May 7th this year. Pretty cool. Good information on how James Bama did the original cover art. Pretty cool.
When killers fill the sky, when the green wigglies are coming to get you, when you're all doomed to die a horrible death.
We're all doomed to die a horrible death.
When you're in that kind of trouble, who do you call on?
Doc Savage, Doc Savage, Doc Savage, Doc Savage.
Have no fear. Doc Savage is here.
Well, now you handle the documents. Is there anything you can remember about them? Anything that might help me find that land which was given to my father?
It's very strange that the deed was signed by the chief of the Ketzimal tribe. But there is no Ketzimal tribe. Can you believe this?
Yes. Yes, I think I can. My father got there. Somehow I must get there too.
But it may take days to get there.
You brought us this far, and I thank you.
I love you.
Mona, you're a brick. Champagne? No, thank you. And perhaps something a bit more potent, too. I'll have a Coke, please.
He's noble and strong. He's got a brain, a super brain that will not rest. He'll right every wrong. Let us all try and help to soothe the savage breast.
Here it is, the edge of the world. Below, in the valley of the vanished, live the Quetzalmals. There is no way down.
He'll